Howdy folks! So you may recall, or you may not, because you may not have watched my last video, I built a farm, a blueberry farm, and basically after I posted that video, inspiration struck and I just got a magnificent idea for a new blueberry farm, which actually involves a lake with some ducks and some anyway, I got a bunch more items because she was looking a little bit empty. But if you haven't watched the last video, I'm gonna go ahead and show you around the blueberry farm just so you can see it. Okay, so this is the farm, and it looks empty. It just looks kind of lackluster, and this is supposed to be a Christmas tree farm, but I don't really vibe with it. I don't really love any part of this farm because it doesn't really feel like my style, and I definitely didn't utilize the space as well as I could have. So I drew a plan on a sticky note, and I'll pop that on the screen right now. It's a lot different. It's literally completely different, but I feel like the layout will look a lot better, and my drawings are pretty bad, so don't mind that. But yeah, the first thing I'm gonna have to do is get rid of all of this and chop down these trees. I did not mean to do that. Chop down these trees probably also, and dig up everything and get rid of everything. I don't know where I'm gonna put it all. It's gonna be a challenge, but let's do it. Let's go. While we watch my past self clean up the farm area, I would like to apologize for the quality of my last video. First off, I really had no idea what I was doing, not gonna lie. I didn't know how to use my mic really. I didn't know the correct distance or anything. And for some reason, the different recording softwares made a really huge difference in quality, which is why the quality of the audio was kind of not great in the last video. And I also, for some reason, I set myself this deadline because I was like, okay, I'm gonna post my videos on Monday, so my first video has to be on a Monday. And then it was Sunday, and I still had a lot to do, so I just kind of rushed myself because I thought if I don't get this video out by Monday, the world is gonna end or something. I don't know. I was kind of crazy. We know, I was kind of delusional when I was doing my last video. I have cleared my head. I'm in a much better place now, but I only spent 45 minutes editing the last one, and it was just didn't turn out well for me. But this video I spent several hours editing, and I feel like I've done a really much better job, and I realized how to use my mic, so enjoy. Once I finished clearing out everything that I had before, I did some terraforming, reshaped the pads a lot, and I put in a pond with a water source that kind of filled up a lot of space that was unused, which it really needed. I felt like that was the make or break thing in this build, not gonna lie. Once I was done with altering the overall shape of the build, I decided to put the blueberry farm in the little peninsula that's goes into the lab area, because I feel like that's just the right space for the blueberry farm. I don't really think it would have fit that well anywhere else. As we could clearly see in the last build, it was really out of place, kind of up in the center on the left. It was not good. That was not a good way to separate my space, because it just left a little space on the bottom, a little space on the top, and it just didn't look good. So I'm glad I went with the peninsula, and I got a lot more items to fill it out and to kind of make it look a lot more homey. I ultimately decided against putting a lot of designs around the farm because although I know this isn't original, it's been done a million times before, I just really like the way that the dropped flowers looked here. I feel like it filled it up a lot, and it made it look like there were more actual flowers there, which I really needed because I definitely didn't have quite enough. I really struggled with the placement of the windmills for a while, like where all the different circles should go and stuff, because it was right next to the path. Like, it's funny how last time I underestimated how large the space was, and this time I overestimated how large the space was. But I eventually got it, and I also really like how the windmill area turned out. I placed a lot of cliff trees on this build, especially in the little wooded fishing area. Every single tree was a cliff tree just because it was so small. Like, I really thought the space was bigger than it was. But it ended up turning out fine, and I liked the tree placement. On the other hand, I struggled so much with placing all the fishing stuff. Like, I cut an insane amount of this out because it took me just so long to figure out the way that I wanted it to go. But I eventually got it, and I really like how it is, although it's a bit difficult to get around, so I'm probably not going to go around there very often. I put a couple of designs down, but I really didn't go overboard because for this build, I just felt like it needed to be a lot more natural, and I just really wasn't feeling the designs. The solar panels also gave me an insane amount of trouble, but this is an eco-conscious island, so I of course had to have them there. I was originally going to have a stump around the table as sort of a funky seating area, and I was going to put a gnome on top of it. And then I remembered that you can't put things on top of stumps, and I was still kind of planning on keeping it, but after playing around with it a little bit, I ultimately decided that I didn't want it there because it wasn't blue. After I ran out of space, I'm not gonna lie, I lost motivation for a few days. And by the time I finally got back around to recording, it was the first snow day, and I built my first snowfolk, and then CJ was here too, and it was just like so much all at once. But it was actually kind of inconvenient because CJ got in the way a little bit, but I'm not gonna let that put a damper on my spirit. On the left of Wolfgang's house, I built kind of his living area, and I even put a little rug down, and it just makes the whole farm feel a lot more homey than it was last time, and like somebody actually lives there and is the caretaker, so I really like that addition. The part on the right of Wolfgang's house, though, took me like quite a few tries to actually get right and a lot of adjusting, but it's just a nice little crafting area that I really like, and it kind of incorporates a little bit of what was there in the last version of the farm, except just better. And then I ran out of space for the second time in the video, and I was just so confused because I had literally deleted every single thing off my computer that I could. Like, I had almost nothing left, like no documents or anything left. And then I found like my iMovie library that was over 300 gigabytes large, and I wasn't even using it at all, and I was like, wow. So that's where all my storage went, and I'm really glad that I found that because I definitely won't be having this problem anymore. I had a little bit of trouble configuring the trees in the Christmas tree farm, but I eventually got it all figured out, and the layout it looks a lot thicker than last time in like an actual farm, I guess. After running and getting some more items and flowers and stuff, I was just kind of rearranging a few things in the build and putting on the finishing touches. Okay, so this is the final walkthrough of a blueberry farm slash just rural area, I guess. So we start with the fishing area in the kind of forest, I guess. It only has 5 trees with the ducks with the blue feathers. Then we come down and we have our windmills and a couple reindeer, and we also have our solar panels. And then if we come all the way to the right on the little peninsula here, we have our blueberry farm, which I really like this farm. I like it a lot better than the last one. I like the entire farm a lot better than the last one. I'm really pleased with how it turned out, because it just looks a lot fuller because I have a lot more items, and I think it's a smaller space, which really helps. And it also has the snow, which is just phenomenal. I love the way the snow looks. So then if we come back here around the tree again, past CJ, we can see the little dining area, which I don't really know if this is like a restaurant or just like where Wolfgang eats his meals or something, because I have like a lot of his living area, I guess, outside. But let's just move on. So if we come here, I'm so glad that I like put this, it's like a entryway sort of. It would be an arch, except it's not an arch because it's 2 pillars, because it's like more dynamic, and it's guarded by these little gnome guys, which I love it. I love that so much. And we come into our Christmas tree farm, and if you come over here, you can see Mr. Robot. And Mr. Robot, he's the lumberjack. He's in charge of the farm. He keeps things running smoothly. He doesn't get paid per se, but he gets room and board. The room and board being the Christmas tree farm. This is where he lives. This is where he sleeps. I'm not quite sure what he eats, but we're glad to have him here. And if we go out of the Christmas farm and up a little bit, we can see where Wolfgang is just, this is sort of his work area, I suppose, because it has a bunch of stuff for working and crafting and things. And then we come out to his living area with his trusty dog Fido and the Christmas tree and items, and we've got a little section here for, yeah, that's good how that was. We have a little section here for his laundry and stuff, and then we have a place where he just sits and relaxes and probably opens Christmas presents in 24 days. Nope, 14. Whoa! Okay, in 14 days. Well, when I'm posting this, it'll be 11 days. Jeez, okay. But that's it. That's the whole farm. I'm really, really proud of it. I feel like I utilized the space way, way better. And I'm really glad that I added, I got 30 more items. It's kind of ridiculous, but it looks so much better because there's not as much empty space, and everything seems like it has a place, which that wasn't really the case last time. And it's a lot more windy and stuff, and rather than being so linear, because I really didn't like that because that's not really the style of my island. But I think that's it for this video. I'll come end the blueberry farm, the main part. I'll stand next to the snowman again. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really, really appreciate it, and I really hope you enjoyed the video and you enjoyed my build. So that's it. Bye! I really think the quality of the video improved a lot since last time, since I finally figured out how to use my mic, and I actually spent more than 45 minutes editing it this time. So I hope you could tell, and I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next Monday.